14.
And now let's meet our first contestant. Will you come in and sign in, please? Paul Klatke, is that right? How do you do? Mr. Klatke, would you tell us where you're from?
Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts.
Chicopee Falls, Massachusetts. That's in the western part of the state, if memory serves me right. Fine. Mr. Klatke, will you meet the panel? Mr. Klatke. Join me over here, if you will, please, sir. Tell me, are you familiar with the way we keep score on What's My Line? All right, then let's let the folks at home and our friends who've been good enough to brave the summer torrents and the summer heat and come to the theater, let's let all of them know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we will tell you that Mr. Klatke is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Klatke, is there any product connected with what you do?
No.
Not in the terms of our program. Actually, as is true of all of us, he comes in contact with, but he deals in a service. Mr. Gazzara.
Oh, might I take advantage of your service?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Well, might I?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
That eliminates charming ladies and handsome men.
That leaves you, though, Bennett.
Cheap applause, if ever I heard it. Mr. Klatke, would you have anything to do with animals?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Well, then, could one suppose that you don't have anything to... Do you have anything to do with children? There's so little left.
Mr. Klatke said that he's married and has 3, but that's got nothing to do with his life. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Gazzara.
Well, I imagine there's something rather special about what you do. Is that correct?
Right.
Do you need some sort of special training for what you do?
Yes.
Would the fact that you're shorter than I have anything to do with what you do?
Yes.
Would it have anything to do with the federal government, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes, I think here, though, if, with your permission, Mr. Klatke, so that we don't mislead you, there is an indirect connection, perhaps.
An indirect connection?
Mm-hmm.
Would what you do have anything to do with national defense?
Yes.
There is a connection again.
Would you work in certain parts of our, let's say, armament field?
No.
No, I think that is too general. We'd have to give you a no on that. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
I think Ben has given us a big fat clue, and I hope we don't lose it. Mr. Klatke, do you, in the course of your work, get into smaller spaces than larger men would be able to get into? And is that part of your value to your job?
Yes.
Is it some sort of vehicle that you get into? Something which moves about from time to time?
Yes.
Has it anything to do, watch me pick the wrong one, with either something that goes in the water or something that flies in the air?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You pick it.
Does it go in the water?
No. 7 down and 3 to go. Mr. Cerf.
Well, then, to just pick up Dorothy's lead, it has something to do with the air, right?
Yes.
Are you concerned, and then, first of all, let me ask this. Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
You do. Have you got anything to do with airplanes before they are turned over to the government?
No.
Small conference, if I may. Good. Splendid. I think that's wonderful. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Francis.
However, didn't you say before, Mr. Klatt, that you do have something to do with the federal government?
Yes, what he does, we would have to admit, has an indirect relationship to the federal government.
Uh-huh. Do you have anything to do with changes in the weather in your spaceship?
I mean, are you specifically asking, has he got something to do with meteorology now?
Yes, I am,
Fine,
John, so
that's
give me the...
9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Gazzara.
Would you deal with, let us say, space travel with instruments used for space travel?
You're speaking now of true space, the ionosphere, troposphere, way.
No, I'm speaking of rockets. Maybe.
Rockets. Oh, good. That's fine. That's 10 down and no more to go. That takes care of everything. Yes, you can have a guess.
Anything to do with test piloting of any kind?
Not test piloting, Bennett, but you're close.
Test riding.
Well, it's not even test riding.
Sitting in the bombers, little
Testing
bomber
instruments.
seats? Fitting in that little bubble.
I was going to tell you, but now I won't. Now, Mr. Klatt has a wonderfully interesting job. He actually works for the Lockheed Aircraft Corporation, and he works at Westover Air Force Base, where he crawls into jet engines them after flights to see if the heat has done anything to create oil leaks, or if the turbine blades are working all right. You play around with those turbine blades,
Right.
don't you? Great fun, aren't you? And this thing, I think, will interest you all, because it might have come to your mind, and we thought you might get into that line of questioning. Mr. Klatt used to be in show business at one time.
Oh, really?
Now he's having a great deal more fun, I'm sure, participating in a very exciting...
May I ask you a question, John? I read in the paper the other day about some man who was almost sucked into one of these jet engines, but was saved at the last minute. Do you know about this?
No, I haven't heard.
Is it possible he was holding on? They said with one more inch he would have been sucked into the jet plane.
Well, actually, Bennett, if you're right in front of the intake of a jet engine, you have thousands of turbine blades that create tremendous inpull, and it'll pick you right up and drag you in. In this man's case, he went through the entrance into the intake, and two of his friends grabbed him and held onto him until they got the engine. He lost just the ends of his fingers. If he'd gone in, it'd been finished, you know. It's a very exciting area of work, I must say. And thank you for a very good... Thank you. All right, panel, thanks. See what we can do with another challenge. Will you...